Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here. Alright, now here I am to complete these Steven Spielberg reviews I've done for the month. And now to finish off these reviews, here I am with a review for Ready Player One. Yeah, so like I said in my last review, after like a Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, I really haven't really followed Steven Spielberg's films really. I mean, I really don't know like that much as Steven Spielberg has really done in like the last 10 years. I mean, the only film that I really do know that he has done, unlike besides this one, is in the last 10 years is the movie Lincoln from 2012, and so yeah, and then he did this film. So I'm not really sure like what else Steven Spielberg has really done in the last 10 years. So yeah, I really haven't really followed his movies he's in the last 10 years. But yeah, this film did come out just last year. And yeah, this was a pretty good film. I mean, yeah, I really did like what this film did. This film did actually have a pretty cool and creative concept. I mean, in this film, the premise of it was how yeah, this film like has is like set in the future, and there's like a video game like a dimension that everybody is into, like a virtual reality. Yeah, it's like a virtual reality world that a lot of people are in, and they like use just have their own like avatars in the dimension. Yeah, and they just like a bunch of people are going into this virtual reality universe just to um like like escape from regular life. So and yeah, it actually is done in like a really creative way, and I really do like it. And everybody that actually is in this virtual reality universe actually does like have their own like personal avatar, which is actually pretty cool. Like some of the avatars in this universe are actually like actual characters. Like there's characters like a King Kong, a T Rex, the Iron Giant, which was pretty cool to see the Iron Giant here. And there's also like a Master Chief. There's Beetlejuice, and yeah, in this universe we just have like a bunch of like um avatars that are being used for everybody that actually comes into this universe. And yeah, it actually is like pretty cool to see like some of these are actual like characters, real life characters that are used as the avatar. So that's pretty cool. And so yeah, the film is like pretty simple overall in its premise. I mean, what it is basically just how there's like another type of industry that is like just trying to take over this universe, and then like all the well, like several of the players that actually do come into or like part of this um the people that are in this virtual reality universe are like trying to stop them. And so yeah, and it's basically like problems like that. And yeah, the main character ends up like befriending and falling in love with another person that actually is like one of the avatars in this virtual reality universe as well. And so then yeah, over time, like they of course like first meet in the virtual reality universe, but then like over time they actually do like meet in real life as well. So yeah, and of course like through they end up like forming a romantic bond with each other by the end of the film. So yeah, and I guess that works out just fine. Yeah, so this film has a cast like Ty Sheridan, Olivia Cook, Ben Mendelsohn, T.J. Miller, Simon Pegg, and yeah, so on. And everyone in this film does do decent enough, I guess. I mean, there's no performances from this film that I do what to like really do stand out as being like classic performances or anything. But yeah, everybody in this film overall does do good enough, I think. So yeah, it is a pretty good film, I guess. I mean, yeah, just because a lot of the imagery in the film is just like really cool to see. Just like I was just saying, all the characters in this film, especially like seeing the Iron Giant was pretty cool because I remember like watching that film, The Iron Giant, a lot as a kid. So yeah, it was cool to actually see the Iron Giant, like actually in this film as well. Seeing how just that film seemed to just be like totally forgotten after like it came out. Like it came out, people watched it, but then yeah, it just really didn't stand out. So yeah, and that's just a really underrated film. So yeah, it's cool that they actually did like make a reference to that film by including the character in this film as well. So yeah, I actually did like that they did that. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it is like an overall like simplistic of story for the film, but yeah, what really does make it stand out is just like the imagery of like everything in the virtual reality world and seeing all those characters in there. So yeah, it is cool to see that. So yeah, if it was just like nothing in the film really did take place in that universe, and if it was just all like real life stuff, this film probably would be kind of a pretty big bore. But yeah, with all the imagery, he and the stuff in the virtual reality universe being there, that does make it like really cool to see. So yeah, it is like a very creative film, and it really does do this type of thing really well compared to like other films that like try to have it like be set in like video game universes or include video game characters, like the third Spy Kids movie, and there was like the Adam Sandler movie Pixels. Yeah, so yeah, there's a lot of times where like this type of concept is being done. It really isn't done very well, but this film actually did do it pretty good. So yeah, it was a pretty good film, and I guess I would recommend watching it if you haven't seen it before. It is just a really good film. I don't think it's great or anything, but it's good. So I would give the film probably like a 3.5 stars out of 4. So um so yeah, so yeah, it really does just the stuff I really do like about the film is just like all the imagery in the virtual reality universe. I mean, the stuff like in real life I could probably like live without, but yeah, the stuff in the virtual reality universe, it's just like really cool to see, and that's really like what I really do come to see this film for. So, oh, well, yeah, it is like what I do like watching about this film. I guess I should put it that way. So, yeah, it is like really cool to see. So, yeah, as you can probably tell, like I'm more of, like for like everything that takes place in like the video game universe in this film, rather than really what just take place in like the live action portion of the film. Yeah, it would be actually pretty cool if we did get like more films like this, where if like there was like a Nintendo style film like this, where like a lot of like if they did like a similar or like plot for this film where it takes place in like a virtual reality world where there's a lot of Nintendo characters used as avatars, like Mario Brothers and a Link and Pokemon and all that. And that would be pretty cool. And also like if like they wanted to do like a full thing of a video game world where it like does include like other characters that aren't from Nintendo, like Crash Bandicoot and Spyro and Street Fighter characters, Mortal Kombat characters, and Tekken characters and stuff like that. Yeah, that would be really cool to see. But for what we did get in this film, I mean, I guess it's kind of like a Fortnite type of thing where like there's all the characters that used in Fortnite. I guess like it is kind of similar to, well, this film has done like a similar thing to Fortnite, where there's like all the avatars used and stuff with all these different characters. So yeah, it is like, so yeah, it's cool to just see that. Like I said, okay, so yeah, I think I've gone on about like how much I like the virtual reality stuff in this film. So yeah, let me just get right down to the premise of the film. All right, so the film is set in like the year 2045, and it's showing that people are trying to seek a regular escape from life, and they like are going into the virtual reality entertainment universe, which is known as Oasis, which stands for ontologically anthropocentric sensory immersive simulation, and which was co-created by James Halliday and Ogden Morrow of uh, Gregarious Games. And then once Halliday actually died, there was a pre-recorded message left by his avatar, Anorak, that announced a game granting ownership of Oasis to the first that can actually find a golden Easter egg that's hidden within the Oasis. This, and it turns out like this egg is actually locked behind a gate that actually requires 3 keys in order to open. And so then, then the contest like lured a number of gunters or egg hunters, and interest of the CEO of this the industry, Innovative Online Industries, or IOI as it's referred to in this film. This by the CEO of IOI, Nolan Sorrento. Oh, and yeah, he's like trying to seek control of the Oasis, and it turned out IOI is like using a number of indentured servants the employees that they refer to as Sixers to find the egg. And then it shows the main character of this film, Wade Watts, and it turns out like he's an orphan teenager that's living in the slums of Columbus, Ohio, but yeah, these slums are also like referred to as stacks, and he's living with his aunt Alice, and it shows that he's part of the Oasis, and his avatar is named Percival, or Z as he's referred to, and yeah, he's like best friends with a virtual mechanic named H, and after, then eventually he ends up like befriending a well-known gunter known as Artemis, and yeah, they all both like have a huge interest in the history of Halliday, and after reviewing Halliday's life from the archives, I've, I've they eventually learned that Halliday like had several regrets in life, which included like his unrequited love for her Morrow's old wife, Kira, and he ended up losing Morrow as a friend after forced him to sign away part of Gregorius Games, and then they ended up like solving the first two challenges of Anarok's game, which included a car race across an ever-shifting Manhattan cityscape. And yeah, this is when like it showed there were like a T-Rex and King Kong like chasing down the cars in the race. He said it also had a search for Kira in the Overlook Hotel from The Shining. Yeah, and then it showed that um uh, Dido and Sho, which were like two other friends of Z and H in the universe, and they ended up becoming known as the High Five on the Oasis scoreboards, and then eventually Z ended up like revealing his real life identity to Artemis, and then Sorrento learned about it, and then he's then tried to like sway Wade into joining IOI, but Wade refused to do so. And then Sorrento retaliated by having him the head of IOI his operations, Fnail Fnail Zandor bombing a Wade stack and ended up killing his aunt. And then eventually the actual player for Artemis, who was named Samantha Cook, ended up saving Wade. But then they eventually ended up being found by IOI, and then Samantha ended up being captured and was remanded to one of the loyal centers of the IOI to work the depth that was required by IOI, and then Wade ended up being extracted by the other Hive, which included H, Dido, and Sho, which their names were Helen, Shiro, and Zhao in reality. And they eventually were able to track down Samantha's location and remotely helped her escape, and then she was able to assist them in the Oasis. And the final challenge to receive the key, he was to play Halliday's favorite game on the Atari 600 in a castle on planet Doom, which was like protected by a force field that Sorrento had made. And then Z ended up recruiting other Oasis players to help them attack the IOI forces around the castle, and this is like where we got to see more characters as the avatars. It showed like there were like several different types of Master Chiefs, and then it also showed the Iron Giant was there, and yeah, just a whole bunch of different avatars that were shown here. Yeah. And eventually the force field ended up being deactivated by Artemis, and then Z was then allowed to reach the console, but then like Catalyst was then activated by Sorrento, which was a bomb that ended up like killing all the avatars on Planet Doom. But after like Z actually did win a coin earlier on in the film from the archives curator. Well, from Halliday's archives curator, he actually did get an extra life, and and he then like played through adventure and then ended up finding the Easter egg, and then he ended up being awarded the last key, and then yeah, he was able to open up the gate, and then yeah, he was then greeted by Anarok, and he was like given a contract to sign, but then like he ended up like recognizing the same contract that Moro signed to turn over for like his part of Gregarious, and he refused to sign it, and then that's when like Anarok actually did change form into Halliday, and then he just revealed to Z that the contract was just the last test to make sure that Z wouldn't make the same mistakes that Halliday did, and then and yeah, uh, Halliday ended up then giving Z the golden egg, and then as well as controlled the Oasis, and then as a Sorrento and Xandor were trying to stop Wade in reality before he won. And of course, they were too late to do so, and then they ended up being arrested for the bombing. And then Morrow then revealed himself as the curator, and then offered his services to Wade, and Wade accepted it. And then Wade ended up just decided to run the Oasis with the high five, and then they also ban any of IOI's loyalty centers from forcing people into servitude, which ended up shutting them down. And then and and then the Oasis was also shut down twice a week for everyone to spend more time in the real world. And then the film just ended by showing that Wade and Samantha like now had moved into an apartment together, and then they were now in love, and that's how it ended. So yeah, the film overall, like, it does have a pretty similar premise overall. I just tried to stick to the main premise of the film, but yeah, it does have like a lot of cool imagery, as I said, just like with all the avatars in this game and just a lot of the imagery that is in like the virtual reality world. It is like really cool to see. So yeah, if you are really curious enough, I would like probably like I wouldn't really recommend a lot of the live action stuff, because yeah, that stuff is like really skippable and not really anything that great about it. But yeah, the imagery like in the virtual reality world, it is really cool. So if you want to see some really cool imagery, just watch everything that takes place in the virtual reality world. But yeah, the live action stuff in the film you can probably just skip through, because none of that is really must see. But the virtual reality stuff in the film, it is like really cool to see. So yeah, check out the virtual reality universe in the film and just like see a lot of cool imagery with all these like different characters being used for avatars in the universe, because yeah, that stuff is just like so freaking awesome to see. So yeah, overall I am glad that I did see this movie. I mean, it's not. That's probably not something that I am gonna be like watching like I'm religiously, something that I'm gonna be putting on all the time. But yeah, I did see it in the theater, and I am glad that I just rewatched it to make this review. So yeah, I do think it is at least like worth a viewing, and yeah, it is like and at least like it is a film that really does deserve like some recognition from Steven Spielberg. Because yeah, like I said at the start of this review, I really haven't like followed Steven Spielberg's career in the last 10 years. But yeah, this was definitely like a really good film and definitely worth a watch. So yeah, one. So yeah, one of Steven Spielberg's. I don't really know like how good a lot of his films in the last 10 years have been, but yeah, probably one of his more famous films in the last 10 years. So yeah, like I said, 3.5 stars out of 4, a pretty good film overall. So yeah, so I guess that's all I can really say about it. Just yeah, I know I really didn't like go like really super in depth in this film, but yeah, if you want to like see more of it than what I can explain, just put on the film, because yeah, like I have been just saying over and over, the virtual reality stuff in the film is definitely like just like worth checking out. It's just really cool, and yeah, it really is just like this concept and story done right, when like other like films have tried it, but it hasn't turned out very good. So yeah, definitely a really good film overall. All right, so yeah, I guess this does it for my review of Ready Player One. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I hope you guys did enjoy these Steven Spielberg reviews that I did throughout the entire month. I'm sorry if I didn't like go over like a Steven Spielberg film that you really like. That I, but yeah, I just like tried to stick to really what is like Steven Spielberg's most famous works that people do know for better or for worse. So yeah, if I didn't review a Steven Spielberg movie you really like, I'm sorry. I mean, you can just like comment on my channel and tell me what some of your favorite Steven Spielberg movies are, that if I didn't get to talk about it. So yeah, but I hope you guys did enjoy the Steven Spielberg films I did review this month. So yeah, I hope you did enjoy them, and thank you to everybody that tuned in. I know that there was somebody that was following these reviews, since like just about all these Steven Spielberg reviews I've done have been like they've like received at least one like. So thank you to whoever it was that was actually tuning in for these reviews, and thank you to everyone else that did watch these reviews as well. All right, so I hope you guys did enjoy these reviews for the month of May, and so yeah, and stay tuned for more stuff coming. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.